How's it going, everybody? So I asked you all to submit me your design portfolios, and the other day I went through about 50 of them and highlighted some of the ones that I thought were my favorite and the most interesting. So in this video, I'm going to be diving deeper into some of these portfolios. Feel free to let me know what you think about these in the comments. And with that being said, let's get into it. So first up for the video, we have my friend and overall just super talented designer, Vincent. This is what I come to expect from him. Super cool work and just doing stuff a little bit different than other people. I really like this little GIF he has up here that switches between his name and shows it in different cool little styles. And if you know Vincent, you know he's known for this kind of red. I think it makes sense that he has this red overlay and things on here. And I really like how this switches too. You can see the different little just versions, just something subtle like that. And I think this is a good layout for a portfolio. I really like how everything's easy to understand, but he helped it not be just boring and kind of cookie cutter like some other ones by adding in some of those GIFs and just like some visual style that he can make his own. I also really like that he has the newsletter right here because everyone knows I'm a big proponent of newsletters, so having the sign up somewhere easy on your portfolio is really good. And having the little shop too works out well if you want to buy some of his stuff or whatever. And it kind of separates it from your work, you know, because you want the client work and the shop and the newsletter and those different things, I think, to be, you know, just kind of separated. So I just want to show you some of his cool stuff real quick, like Anthem Creative Arts. This is really cool branding identity type stuff. I like how he still kept it in that Vincent-esque style though, dark kind of imagery and just kind of mystical stuff. If you want to check out this stuff, go ahead. And he also has a really cool, I wish I could find the Instagram easier. Maybe that would be the only change I would make. That's good, having the hex code to the red. He posts really cool stuff, and I really just like his style of illustration and how everything feels kind of cohesive in his style, like you know that he made it. Also, he has a really good contract for creatives. That's just a side note, but especially if you're in the UK, this thing's really good, so check it out. Next up, we have TJ Whipple. So this one kind of caught my eye when I was first looking at it. I like how it's laid out. It's really accessible. This is a little bit weird how the head's getting cut off right there. That might be something to look into, but I think it's because I have a really big monitor, like a 4K, almost 30-inch monitor. So I think sometimes when stuff gets, really maxed out, the optimization of it gets a little funky. So maybe that's on me, but maybe if you want to think about that in the future, like someone using a big monitor, like a client or something. This is a cool little hover thing. Makes it easy to understand. Let's take a look at one of these branding projects. I like the little icons for the logos up here, easy to get to, Instagram, Dribble, TikTok. So cool little description of the project. I like that. This is cool. This seems like a nice branding identity for a smaller project. Daisy chain, coffee. I almost think this is hard to read, like the coffee logo, but at the same time, I kind of like how it flows like that. So I think it works in a weird way. These are cool. I've always wanted to make something like this for a branding project, like a little punch card, because I really like those in real life. I like this. You kind of have cool illustrations for the branding, but some fun ones for more playful things like stickers or merch design, kind of giving it that vintage baseball tee feel. I think this is overall like a really strong project. I really like down here too how you have this call to action, because you know the client's feeling inspired if someone's looking at your project, or just someone that respects your work and maybe they're thinking like, oh, I would love to have, you know, a t-shirt like that or whatever for my business, and then bam, you got that right there and you can already get to them right to the contact page. And you have the email right there too. I think that's super smart. Sometimes people just have these contact forms but no email, so it's kind of like you have to go through this. I don't like going through those contact forms, so that's very nice. All right, next up we have Dietl, someone who I've had on the podcast twice, talented designer who's really good at posters and this kind of post-punk goth type poster design. I don't think they have a website at the moment, so they shot me over the Behance, but you can also view some of their work on Instagram. I really like Caroline's work because similar to Harry's, it all feels very cohesive, and I know something was made by her. I think sometimes in this day and age, the mark of a good designer is when I see them get copied a lot. I have seen Caroline's style get kind of ripped on Instagram a lot and stuff, so there you go. But really this stuff's really cool. Like she has a cohesive kind of printed look and everything has this nice texture to it. And see, something like this on Behance is a pretty good idea. I think sometimes people don't know what to post on Behance because they don't have like big projects, but you know, you could just compile work like this that you're posting, either personal work, client posters, kind of make them into a little series. That's what I've done in the past too. I really like all this stuff. The 30 Days of Goth, this is cool. I like this, similar to like the Blues Legends series I'm doing, where it's based off different albums or different bands that are in that genre of music. I like how these all feel the same, but they're different enough to like they feel like a series, you know, and together, but they don't feel like repetitive or kind of played out in that way. One thing I've always really liked about Caroline's work too is these little scribbles and things. I think it adds a human element and just something that's a little more unique than just laid out type. The only critique I guess I would have for this is you want to get some more bigger projects in here, obviously, to kind of along with the poster design stuff, like maybe the album packaging and stuff that you've done or things like that. I would say make a website, because similar to the newsletter, like you want to own your little place on the internet, and if these sites go down or if Adobe, everyone starts not using it, you don't want your work to just be on Behance, so it'd be nice to have it on like an actual website. Other than that though, I really like the work. This next one's Maddie Diaz. I think the arrow works because it kind of gives you that like feeling to scroll down. Other than that, you might feel like you don't know what to do here. I think he just actually did this kind of branding recently for some of his work. Like he didn't really have a brand identity before that. And it seems like as designers, that's one of the hardest things, is branding ourselves. So he's got the about page with the photo and everything. I like this. This is very clean. Howdy, LinkedIn, all that, prints. So I think personal work, let's see. Yeah, these are cool. I like some of these poster designs. I like how you have these little captions right here too. These are dope. I think Maddie has a nice style that I mess with. It's kind of, you know, photo type and image layout type stuff. Nothing too complex, but it still has like a nice meaning to it and just something that's visually interesting and nice to look at. Like this is kind of cool. Just this little sign thing. It'd be cool to get that actually somehow made and put it out into the real world. Yeah, this stuff's cool. Client work, so some album art. This stuff looks a little bit different from some of your current stuff. I don't know if this is older or things, but I know when it's hard to try to get clients and you want to have work to fill up your portfolio, but I think it's best to only put your best stuff, and maybe not, like if you're not trying to work in this style anymore and you more like the stuff you're doing now, I maybe wouldn't even include this, because you don't want to get hired for things that you've done in the past that you aren't really like fond of anymore. And if this is what you want to keep moving forward with, then that's good too, but I'll try to keep it a little bit more cohesive, but still have like a breadth of different things in your portfolio. This is pretty cool too. And the faucet typeface, that one's really cool, by Daniel Shire, something like that. Independent type designer. It's a nice little branding thing. This like looks similar to a lot of the stuff I was doing when I was in university, and I think the only thing I know about it now in hindsight is these general looking mock-ups and things. I think they're strong when you're first starting out, but I think slowly they start to feel like not very unique, and like you want to have a real life pictures to separate your stuff. Even if they're lower quality, it makes it feel more legit. But other than that, I really like this, and it's a nice little layout. This next one up is Jordan Ross, and if you got to this part of the video, I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button real quick. Well, I like this kind of playful look. I like this more bubbly letters and stuff. It kind of separates it from some of the more Swiss design type stuff you see in a lot of people's portfolios these days. I believe Jordan is this Instagram account, OK Dion or something like that. I know they posted all these kind of vintage type ads that were really getting very popular these past few years and kind of could farm the hell out of engagement and things on Instagram. It looks like you want to pursue more UI UX type stuff or branding. I think it's smart to leverage some of your old accounts to send people over here. I would even put your account maybe in here, you know? So if you're getting more into that UI type stuff, then that's cool. But I think it is a good idea to still have this 365 poster day project here, because it kind of gives you some social proof that you're like a designer and you've done a lot of stuff, especially if you don't have too many projects like this. Bureau of Meteorology. This is a pretty cool logo. I like how this gradient orb is something you see quite a bit. Obviously you're mentioning like the sun, but it's cool how you kind of softened it with like a playful kind of rounded typeface like that. What I think is a little bit of a missed opportunity here that could have been cool is having almost like a responsive logo that could be used in different times. If one could be like the dark mode one, you know, one was the moon and one was the sun, and you could make like a cool little GIF that, you know, animated between the two. I think something like that could be really cool here. This looks nice though. That's like, if I had an app like this that was branded this way, and it looks very comforting, and something that you have to check all the time is the weather. So yeah, I like this. I'm not sure if this was a student project or just a self-initiated project, but if you're into this UI stuff, I think it's really good to do some of these passion projects like this. And I think some of these UI UX stuff, though, I was into this for a while. I designed an entire job job searching app, a hiking app, different things when I thought I wanted to do UI and UX. One thing I think I would say is these people really look for the methodology. Like if you're looking to get a job in this type of thing, you want to have case studies and kind of research and wireframes and things like that that are a little bit more built out than just showing like, here's a cool app I made with some, you know, with the logo and with like some mock-ups. You want to have like some actual science behind it and maybe do some user testing, things like that. I think that'll really help you if you're searching for a job in this type of field. This next one is Valentin, Renault, something like that. I really like this portfolio layout. Like the work, first of all, the work's pretty cool. I was looking at this earlier, but the way this is laid out, I really like. It's something about this style is pretty cool. Let's look at some of these projects. This, I don't know how to feel about this blurry dot. It's like, I almost really like it, but I would be hesitant if I really wanted to show off the project that's placed right here, you know? So I don't even know. Can I get a translation thing? Maybe not, but all right, well, this is in French, I believe. But yeah, this stuff's cool. I think a lot of people in Europe have this very nice like editorial layout type design that's mixing some of this David Rudnick-esque type with like some of the old traditional, more Swiss design things. And this is cool. I like the halftone kind of bitmap blue. Something about this blue is really nice on that kind of light off-white gray type thing. I think there must be something with the schooling systems out there that kind of make people lean towards some of these more styles, because I think it seems like people in Europe are really far advanced design aesthetic wise from some of the people that I went to school with in United States University. So you guys are killing it. You have a little app. I like how even this app design, more branded, simple type stuff still feels like something that you made. Like this still feels like in this style. This type design is cool. I think this type of stuff is really popular these days. Kind of simple image, fashion, editorial type design with some cool typography created on it. Go back to the, see, oh, I love that, a button to go back to the top. Print design. I really like this poster. I've been really liking this outline stroke on like shapes like this. Someone who does this kind of stuff really awesome too is designed by Salome. They do cool posters like that kind of have this stretch type and outline type thing, something like this. Kind of what it reminded me of when I first saw your work. But yeah, all this stuff's cool. This is awesome. I really like this. Really cool. I think you have a very good portfolio layout. Projects are very strong and I think you're killing it. Good stuff. This one's a little bit more simple, brand identity, kind of like this rustic, almost Aaron Draplin / like kind of John Contino type style stuff. I think that this stuff is very good in the corporate identity and food and beverage world. Stuff that looks like this. Take a look at one of these branding projects. It's a nice little simple logo. I like there's something about these kind of logo modernist, those little like quarter circles to create shapes out of that I think always works well. This is a cool little project. I don't know if this was a personal project or something that actually happened. I'd like to see a little bit more, maybe some more of the brand collateral or some in situation images, because this stuff's more, I think, relevant to the actual client than what someone just viewing you wants to see. Let's check out this roast house. This one caught my eye. So limited labels and cups. I like this. This kind of reminds me of Coffee Klatch or Klatch Coffee, this place that I really like over near my hometown. I like these little graphs that kind of show you with the little drip logo, using that to show like dark roast or light roast, things like this. These photos and stuff too, this looks a lot more like real, I guess is the only word I can think of to describe it. Something that actually happened. So limited release labels, that's cool. This one's nice too. It's like a mix between a coffee style logo and like a union kind of worker type thing. These little, yeah, I like that. And yeah, I saw something up here that said process. This is like a blog, I think. Yeah, this is cool. Kind of like stuff I'd put in my newsletter or things like that, but gives the client or whoever's viewing your portfolio kind of a little peek behind the curtains. Nice about page and everything. Yeah, some cool stuff. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to see me review some more portfolios, you can check out this video here and subscribe to the channel for more.